It's freaking bright out here. Anywho, do you have corrugated metal siding and you want to like hang lights on it and you can't figure out, you know, because it's corrugated and wavy and it's got ups and downs and all arounds on it. You're trying to figure out how to mount lights to it. Well, yeah, so have I for like 3 years now. So let me show you what I came up with. These here fellers, Everett Manufacturing. They make these things. This one's in the bag still. But, see here? There's these little dealy boppers that kind of mold to the shape of the corrugated panel. And they have different ones. They have ones that'll go on the ridge, like this. But let me show you the issue I've got with that. Bam! Right here. The issue I have with that is then what the frick panel or box do you mount there? And you gotta cut like a giant hole, and you gotta, this is an old work one, so it's got the little flipper flappers on it. See? So you can like kind of make it work, but then it doesn't quite sit flat, and it's just, I don't like it. So what I like better is the panel that goes in between the high ridges. This is a PBR panel. Don't ask me what it stands for. See how it sits like that? And this is all bolted down. So let me take it apart, because even though that one and that one look the same, what you don't see is not the same. Lights removed. This is what's behind it. So this is how this light mounts. It's a center screw. See how there's a metal box in that one? There's a plastic box in that one. So this is an old work one. It's got the little flapper dappers on it. And this is not. And then you see how if you over tighten it, you just pinch the dog piss out of there. So you gotta be careful of that. But let me further take it apart so you can see what we're working with. All right, so this is the metal box. So it's got these little tabs already pre-drilled. Those are M8, or not M8, number 8 by 32 thread. And I got these super duper long screws here. But basically all you're doing is this is on the back side of the panel. This is where this gets tricky, because it's hard to be on one side of the wall and on the outside of the wall at the same time. But for the metal side, what I did is I used a hole saw, whatever size hole that is, 2.5. So I used the hole saw there, and then I used this little feller to just roughly kind of hold it there so I can mark holes. And then I drilled with a little tiny drill bit, and naturally my bolt holes were too narrow. Right? It's windy out there. So then I just used my acorn drill bit, and I wallered them out just a little bit so I can get my bolt pattern right. See? Where's that? So something like that-ish. Bolt pattern. There we go. See? And then I was able to hold on this side, put this on there, put that on there, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Do something like that, right? So this goes on the other side, whatever, you've seen it. So that's the metal one. The plastic one, let's get the flapper dappers in it. I just drilled a 3 5/16 pattern in there. Sunk that some bitch in there, just like that. But the issue that I have, see how I'm wibble-wobbling it around? It's because it's supposed to have, that's for like drywall. This is really thin material. So let me further take that apart so you can see what we're working with. There you go. So I had to do this for a reason. Here's the reason. You try and drop this frickin' thing in there, that bulges out just a little bit, and my 3 15/16 is not quite big enough. So I just dropped this in place, and I wanted these to be like this way because that's what the pattern is for this that matches that matches this. If you put this on here this way, completely defeats the purpose of the notches. See? All right? Are you freaking following me? Okay, so then if you unthread these all the way and fold those in, right? You're gonna set this down on your pattern, take your little die grinder, cut those little humps out of there, and then this still is gonna fight you on going in there. See how it's freaking... Hold on, let me, now that's sitting at an angle, I need to unscrew it. See, sitting flat now. Okay, so now, since this is a tripod, it'll only go in there one way. So see, now that goes in there like that. Screws line this way, which is up and down, because the wall goes like this in our pattern. So then you could tighten up these screws, which attach to the little flapper dappers. The little flapper dapper comes out, and then that keeps it from pulling out of there, right? But this one, like you've seen, gets a little loose. The cool thing about that one is that if you use the plastic old work one, you could probably way easier do this yourself. Sorry, I thought somebody was pulling up, but I don't know who the fuck that was. Anyways, so I'm trying to figure out, I really think the old work plastic ones is the way I'm going to go, because then I can just do this myself. Let me show you what I'm going to do. Here is one of the man doors. See it? Man dooring. I want to have a light, like right up here. And the panel little filler guys that I like are the ones that go between the humps. So see, my hump, my lovely lady humps. So it needs to go either here in the middle or here in the middle. Not here, but here. Not here and not here, but in here. Or in here. But anyways, I'm trying to figure out now the symmetrical thing, right? So it looks to me like the best place to go is like right here, because that's almost in the middle of the door, if I really wanted to be crazy with it. But the thing is the end of the building's there. It's where what I want to go. But anyways, I think what I'm going to do is the plastic old work box. Why do they call it an old work box? It's not because if you're working on it, you're old. I'm feeling pretty old today. My back is killing me. It's because it's already complete and you're going to install something new. So they call it an old work box. A new work box is brand new construction. It's not finished. You can do whatever, right? Old work, new work. So my two options. This is what my holes look like before the boxes are mounted. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Big asshole. Smaller asshole. That's like a 4-inch, 2.5 inch. This one I feel like is cleaner, because the other thing you got to think about is when this is in here, bolted in place, right, is you've got that huge hole. And when it rain's going to want to run down, you need to seal it. So how do you seal that all up? I don't know how you seal that up. So what I was thinking about doing if I did it this way is I would have this here. I mean, you got that huge hole. I don't know what you're going to do to seal that. But potentially what you could do is you could not even drill a hole that big. You could just drill like a little tiny hole and put a grommet and put the wires through the grommet maybe. That's a thought. Or with this one, this one is so annoying to put back together. You could just silicone all the way around here, but you still have this huge opening that crap's going to get in there, right? You know, you got rain coming down, crap's going to get in there. We've got insulation in the inside of this building, so how are we going to seal it? That's the other thing I need to think about before I decide which method I'm going to take. So So maybe in this section that's right, you know, between here and there, as I drill another one, set it all in there, put it together. But what I do is I drill a little teensy tiny hole there, mount this, then I could silicone, little teensy tiny hole will just be for the wiring, which in theory, if this is wiring is long enough, that can sit on the panel and pull through here, and then I could just wire nut it on the other side. Here's a variation that I like the best. This is my third attempt. So first, giant hole. That's where that goes. And then you have this that goes over the top of it. And then on the top of this, that. And then on the top of that goes the light. Second attempt, oh, there's a chunk of metal, is put this on the back side. Then you put this on there. Then this, right, when you see the pattern here. And then the light. Third attempt, using the same metal box back here so you have something to screw to. And drill a small hole so that you could run the power wire through. So I didn't do a knockout in this yet, but put that in the back and then sandwich everything. Definitely probably going to need 2 people to be able to do this, but let me show you what it looks like when it's put back together. So I'm trying to put this together as if I was doing it on the building. We've got gravity is helping us here, holding this down. But what I did is I ran the wire, I punched a hole through the box, right? The box is just kind of hanging there. I got to ground it, so I did that. And then and this wire is probably not the right length, but if we just do something like that, we can push this down somehow. So with the wire in there, it makes it more difficult naturally. So then our screws that we were using were these long ones. I need to do this, line it up with the hole in the panel. And then the opposing one. Sorry, it's hard to hold the phone. So something like that. So then on the back side, screws are hanging through. Move some stuff so it doesn't come flying off. So now, what's probably going to have to happen is, since this is being held like that, there's going to have to be somebody on the outside holding that, somebody on the inside, but that's got to be after you cut the insulation, pull it out of the way so that you could see where these screws are at. And then the person that's on the inside is going to have to fish this up to where it's close, right? So that then you can get it lined up. That's going to be nearly impossible. Here it is together. It's way better because look, there's way less holes in there. You could silicone that. I'm still not happy with it, and here's why. When you tighten the screws up, see how it's just deforming this? But this can still like kind of move around, see? So I'm coming up with option number 4. Fourth rendition, modified the third rendition. This is all together, but look at what it looks like on the backside. I didn't even use a freaking box. So what I did is before I had the hole for the mount and the hole for the mount and then the hole for the electrical all in line. Well, that's not going to work with this. So I just drilled this off to the side and then I drilled the angle iron and tapped it for 832. So now this way, I've got the metal that spans the entire length of this. So when we're sandwiching this down, it's still distorting the metal a little bit, but it's not doing it as bad. I think I might do this. Still going to be a pain in the ass to put together. And installed. We're gonna have to check these bad mamma jammas out tonight. But I got them wired up. I did silicone around it. Don't look too close at the silicone. It's not the greatest. Never been the greatest siliconer guy. Don't, ooh, look at that. Stop looking. Ta-da! It works. It's freaking bright. That is it for this video. The lights turned out pretty good. I just have one hung above each one of the man doors. So I'm gonna do one above that garage door, and then one above this garage door, and one above that other garage door. And don't worry about that. That'll be in another video. Okay, goodbye.